Hey, I am so glad you're here. Today I am going to be making some lemon poppy seed cold processed soap. So to start off, I am just going to be measuring out my water, and everything is weighed as opposed to just going with cups or ounces or whatever. Well, I guess it is ounces, but everything is getting weighed just to have very accurate measurements and that everything is going to be working out properly. Next up, I am measuring out my lye, and after that is measured, I will be pouring the lye into the water. You never want to add water to lye. You always pour the lye powder or whatever into the water. And you do want to be careful with this, as it does give off a little bit of a fume. And so that's just where I just covered my face with a towel. It is close to an open fireplace, so it does have some air movement there to help with that. But yeah, you just want to be really careful with that, as the water really does heat up a lot after you add the lye. So you just want to make sure that you are either wearing some sort of a breathing apparatus or covering your face like I am, just to protect yourself from those fumes. While I'm stirring, I do keep checking the temperature. Even throughout the process, I check it quite frequently. I like to soap at 100 degrees, and if I keep on top of the temperature, I just know when the perfect time is to mix the lye water with the oils. Now that the lye and the water have been mixed and are cooling down, I move on to my solid oils. I have a few different solid oils, and I just mix them all into this measuring cup, and again, they all have to be weighed. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just mixing all my different oils. Once I've put all of them into the same measuring cup, I will put them into a water bath in the slow cooker. For me, the slow cooker works really well. I just kind of tend to do small batch soaps, so that works great. I find that the oils are melted down and at the right temperature, very much the same time as the lye, with the process that I am using right now. And to keep the oils completely clean, I do cover it up with some tin foil just to keep out any water splashes or condensation or anything like that while it is in the slow cooker. I do cover it up with a lid, but it doesn't fit properly, so I just secure it with a towel. And now that the oils are melting, I am measuring out all my liquid oils. And once the solid oils have melted, I take them over to the liquid oils and I mix them together. Doing this will really cool down the melted solid oils. And again, I am going to be stirring it just to kind of cool it down, to get it down to the right temperature. I keep measuring the temperature of both the lye water again and the oils, because at this point I want to make sure that they are really close in temperature range. I like to soap within 5 degrees of each other. So yeah, it's a matter of stirring and testing and stirring and testing until I am happy that they're between 100, 108, somewhere in there, but only about 5-degree difference. As you can see here, they are very, very similar, and at this point I am adding the lye water into my oils, and you got to be so careful. I am wearing my gloves here because you don't want to get any splashes or anything on your skin, so be very, very careful if you do that. At this point, I'm adding in some kaolin clay, and I am going to proceed to mix it with my immersion blender. At this point, you need to be so careful. I remember the first few times when I made soap, I messed this up really badly, but you really don't want to blend it too much, because if you do, it'll just really thicken up your soap super fast and you won't have time to pour it properly or anything like that. So it is literally a lot of little stirring with the blender and then actually blending it in just 2-3 second bursts. So it's like stirring, burst for 3 seconds, stirring, like until the oils and the lye come together and there is no oily streaks at all anymore. So after just a short while of mixing and blending, it really doesn't take long. I actually didn't edit any of this out because I found it really helpful to see in real time and to actually hear how much is blending and how much is actually stirring. So if you do make it, I really hope that you're going to find this helpful. So now that the oils and the lye have been mixed, it is time to separate into different containers for the different colors that I'm going to be using. And for this particular soap, there was 3 different colors that I was wanting to do. So I am putting it into 3 containers. Oh my goodness, don't let this fool you. This batter in the blue container, it set up so quickly. I don't know if it was the oil that I used, like the fragrance oil. It just set up so fast. As you can see, it is starting to really solidify here. So I was having to really move fast so that I could still get this bar of soap in there and let it not be too ugly. But my goodness, that really caught me off guard. I had hardly blended it after I added the fragrance oil, so I'm not quite sure what happened here, but thankfully it did turn out okay. I definitely had to work hard to try and get some design in there. Yeah, so I definitely have to figure out what went wrong there, but needless to say, it turned out really well. After it had cured for the month, it still works really well, so I still call it a win. But it did get my heart pumping a little bit because I had to work really quick at the end here. did look pretty decent considering. I was so nervous to take this one out of the mold and just see what it looked like, but it didn't even look that bad. I was expecting it to look a lot worse. I was expecting it to have a lot of air bubbles and stuff like that, which it didn't. And because I had used a little bit of a lighter and a darker yellow and a white, it didn't look too bad actually. And the color of the poppy seeds really did help to kind of give it some definition as well. And overall, I am very pleased with how this looks. I hope you guys enjoy this and you found this helpful. And if you did, please like and subscribe and come back next week for some more adventures. Be blessed.